I'll be spending a whole week, 168 hours, checked in and living inside a space-age sleeping pod at a Japanese capsule hotel. It's like having a personal Pokeball, but imagine doing this with blindness. Due to my visual impairment, I have under 10% of sight, which makes solo traveling in a country all about respecting personal space all the more challenging. Except when it comes to Tokyo trains. During rush hour, there's no personal space there. Hi, I'm James Rath. I'm visiting Japan while filming my upcoming travel show. I couldn't help but to try a few new experiences. My stay in Japan has unexpectedly been extended due to another video that I'm in the process of filming. So as a way to budget, I heard that these capsule hotels were a solid alternative to couch surfing or hostels, but I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I did not anticipate the steps. It's a good thing I'm not doing an accessibility review this time around because, well, you already know the verdict. Having my own personal capsule, I might now finally be able to empathize with one of these gachapons. Hey, at least I can feel some breathing holes. Now, let's talk about capsule hotels. In a way, they're kind of like the Japanese version of the tiny house movement. But instead of a house, you got, well, a capsule. Originally, capsule hotels were popular for businessmen and women, typically separated or would cater to one or the other. On those nights that you work a little late, or maybe you lost track of time at karaoke, these pods offer a budget alternative to a hotel. And trains in Japan tend to stop service around midnight, and in a city like Tokyo, it's rare that you would want to drive or pay for a taxi. Transportation options. What's that like? Once checked in, there's everything a minimalist traveler might need. A bed, a tiny shelf, a reading light. It's cozy, compact, and you definitely can't do jumping jacks in here. It, kind of smells like men. Ugh. Your neighbors, well, they're above you, below you, and all around you. It's like a human beehive. If social media or data brokers prepared me for anything, it's probably the lack of privacy I'm gonna get in a capsule hotel. Seems like it's nice and isolated in here. Kinda. Just enough for me to toot. And the best part, it's a fantastic way to test your ninja skills, especially if you just took a class on how to be a ninja. No, seriously, like in a capsule hotel, it feels like everyone's doing their best not to disturb others and make noise, but because of that, you hear every little thing. Now you might think, staying in a capsule means roughing it out. Well, there's more to this hotel than meets the blurry eye. Capsule hotels pack a surprising punch for their size. First stop on our tour, the locker, because in a place where your bed is a pod, your suitcase definitely needs its own quarters. And then there's this little goodie bag. It's like Christmas morning every time you check in. You've got PJs, slippers, and a toothbrush for all of us forgetful travelers. There's the lobby. It's a communal hotspot for you to eat, work, or whisper on the phone. Now I know these style beds aren't for everyone, but I'll be honest, I find them quite comfortable and I find my body pretty relaxed by the morning. So with that, it's time for our first night in the capsule hotel. Rise and shine.
おはよう。チェックアウトは午前10時です。これは30分間の警告です。
There's nothing like waking up to the hotel's intercom system. So here's the quirk about capsule hotels. They're all about eviction rather than vacation. Imagine this, every day at the crisp hour of 10 a.m., your beloved capsule kicks you out, and you can't make your way back until 2 p.m. Now this is gonna vary from hotel to hotel, but it's basically just reminding me to go experience the real Japan. Now, when a capsule hotel temporarily shows you the door, you gotta find some form of entertainment. So let's swap these cozy capsules for a world of pocket monsters. Welcome to the Pokemon Center Shibuya. This is more for me, not for you. As a kid, I never got to experience the Pokemon Center in New York City, so this is just mind-blowing to me. They even have the legendary Pokemon Mewtwo in a test tube. Wait, nope, I know how this ends. Probably shouldn't stick around here for too long. For those not in the know, the Pokemon Centers are all over Japan. It's a shrine dedicated to all things Pokemon. I would have totally said that stepping in here felt like bringing back the good old days, but honestly, they never left. I've been playing Pokemon since I was young, and that's not gonna stop anytime soon.
Okay, so you can hear the opening music now.
Of course, no one leaves the Pokemon Center empty-handed. Oh, I need a new suitcase.
Just visited the Nintendo Tokyo store. Did a little shopping.
Now, although we're only on day 2 of capsule living, a challenge started to present itself. Being a content creator means being adaptable. but recording voiceovers in a capsule hotel is quite a challenge. I first thought of asking the hotel staff for some help, but they looked at me like I asked them where the nearest Wawa in Japan was. Apparently they don't cater to audio recording needs, so I tried looking up internet cafes with private booths. But those websites seemed to be exclusively in Japanese, and even when I used the translation app, it didn't always make sense. And even when I was able to decipher what was being said, they were pretty much all booked up until, well, just after my flight back home. Next stop, what about the work pods at train stations? You need a membership though for these, and for a membership you need a Japanese address. And there's no reason to suggest trying to record outside, because I wasn't trying to record a nature documentary. In the midst of trying to figure out where I should record voiceovers, I actually got a call from a familiar voice. Now here's a twist. It turns out I'm not the only blind YouTuber feeling adventurous in Japan.
So, meeting up with Molly for dinner. Molly Bark. Alright. Fairly successful for my first time solo taking the subway system here in Tokyo. Just kind of follow the signs. Luckily, narrates the stops in English after Japanese.
Say konnichiwa to the phenomenal Molly Burke.
What a strange place to hang out.
Who, like me, found herself craving some authentic ramen in Tokyo. Tokyo is a big city, but in the realm of blind YouTubers, it suddenly felt small. After dinner, you'd think I'd ask Molly if I could use her space to record, but I didn't. I kind of forgot. Oops. Well, back to the capsule hotel. And this is a problem for tomorrow, James.
Successfully managed to learn the Tokyo subway system. I feel accomplished.
Good morning. Tomorrow, James here. Yeah, thanks for that. So today it's raining. Not uncommon for Tokyo by any means. There's like a specific brand of umbrellas that's like offered in just 1, 2, 3 neutral colors. And they're sold at every convenience store.
So I did buy an umbrella already, technically from the Nintendo store, but I left it in my luggage up at the capsule hotel where it's the hours where you can't go back in. And I got 4 hours to kill before we can check back into the hotel.
While looking for a quiet place to record my voiceovers, I asked the local for suggestions, and they suggested that I maybe check into a Japanese love hotel. Alone, just for an audio recording. Now, if you're not familiar with love hotels, they're a uniquely Japanese concept. They're hotels that provide short-term accommodation for couples, complete with thematic rooms, vending machines with a wide range of products, and, of course, private entrances for discreet entry and exit.
I love you, sugar.
All in the name of love, of course. Now imagine me, a blind foreigner walking into a love hotel alone, just to record some audio. Plus, there's the worry about ambient noise. Who knows what sounds I'd be picking up from neighboring rooms. So like I said, I'm not recording a nature documentary. So where does a visually impaired, slightly desperate content creator end up? Well, back in a regular hotel room. Now, I didn't end the challenge, I didn't lose the challenge. This is not for sleeping, mind you. Just a place where I can finally talk to myself in peace. And with that, it was time to leave the hotel that I got just for the night, a little bit early, to head back to a lesser experience. Can't say I'm not committed. So it's day 4 and we're checking out of the Koed Capsule Hotel. But don't worry, I wasn't swayed away from this experience. It's literally 10 a.m. and he just decided to start shaving on the floor, blocking my locker. We'll be trying a different capsule hotel for the rest of this week.
Slept good last night.
These capsules come in all shapes and sizes, and I wanted to experience something maybe a little bit more luxurious.
Alright.
We're heading into a men's-only capsule hotel next. I gotta say, this one definitely smells more like a men's locker room. It's more clean and orderly than what I'm used to, but men will smell like men. This spot is loaded with perks. We've got an entire cozy cafe for caffeine lovers. And for those who just want to binge watch, there's TVs in every pod. There's also unlimited ramen. So yeah, I guess it is kind of like a college dorm. And after you eat all that ramen, there's a sauna and a man-made onsen hot spring just to sweat it out. So I checked in expecting a solo pod, and instead I found myself in a bunk bed setup. However, this time I was on top. Felt like I was back at summer Bible camp. But it was no worries. The hotel staff were on their toes, and it turns out it was a mix-up. Just like that, They hooked me up with the correct capsule. Who knew that upgrades could come in the form of extra headspace? With my content creation work done for the time being, I decided to spend the rest of the day in the pod and just relaxing while I play some classic Pokemon for Game Boy. That night, I decided I'm gonna take a leap out of my comfort zone. I'm gonna shower. Unlike the last one, where you were still a little exposed. This one, well, it's all out there. I totally understand cultural differences. And, well, when I went to go shower, there are times that I'm glad I'm legally blind.
I just showered naked with like 10 other Japanese dudes. That was an experience.
Today, we're actually trading up the capsule for a big dose of greenery at Hamariku Gardens. Right in the midst of the urban jungle, Hamariku Gardens is a breath of fresh air. With 250,000 square meters of nature along with statues and shrines, it's a peaceful and cultural place tucked in the non-stop movement of Tokyo. Day 6. Now, although I've been in the Capsule Hotel this week, I've actually been in Japan for quite a bit of time now. And I've been kind of craving some social interaction that is maybe in my native tongue.
So it's about 4:30 a.m. I decided to go out for just a bit of a walk and wander around. I literally just decided to wander. I had no direction in mind. I was just taking turns and just talking to my dad on FaceTime and catching up. And I noticed this thing pointing in the sky. Not hard to miss, especially from across the street. Yeah, I found Tokyo Tower. I honestly, I knew of Tokyo Tower. There's an emoji.
Today, I'm meeting up with a new friend who I connected with on social media. She's originally from Germany, and she's living in Japan right now. Her name's Lisa, and she happens to know Japanese, German, and English. It's not surprising that I walked into the wrong Starbucks. Not once, but twice. While I'm on my way to the correct Starbucks, Lisa's already there, and at the same time, she's being quizzed by a curious tourist. She's not too sure on how to handle him, but this definitely takes a little bit of a turn or a twist.
I don't know if he's coming back. Is that a stop?
He's coming back. It's
Okay.
out of his stuff.
Are you okay if I film this?
It's completely fine, yeah.
So I'm with my new friend Lisa.
Hi.
We're sitting here having conversation. I just got my drink and I hear my name, but I didn't think twice about it. I just kind of let.
He just was
I just assumed maybe I heard the wrong.
at you.
Yeah, I heard the wrong thing for a second, and then I realized.
Now he's coming back.
No, get over it.
He's getting away.
Hunter Kim. Oh my gosh. It's been 8 years. I went to high school with you in the United States. What are you doing here?
Really?
This is like a sitcom moment.
Yeah, it is. So weird. I feel like.
As I heard my name, lo and behold, it's Hunter, my high school friend that happened to be this mysterious tourist that Lisa was dealing with. Small world. Like, quite literally. Hunter was a foreign exchange student from Korea who came to the US and went to school with me. We bonded over having a love for filmmaking. And back in high school, we would make short films together that we'd put in art festivals, and some very much lived on this YouTube channel. Wow.
Yeah, he can't even comprehend. His face is the face of disbelief.
I hadn't spoken to Hunter in over 5 years because I lost contact with him when he went back to Korea. So we shared a quick reunion and exchanged contact cards for a catch-up later. I gotta say, one of the coolest things about this whole Japan trip was some of the familiar faces. It's just not every day that you get to get a little bit of a sense of back at home, even when you're across the world. I got to learn from Lisa herself about what it was like to move to Japan as a foreigner. Afterwards, we found a vegan ramen shop.
Thank you. Look good?
Can you eat with chopsticks?
I've gotten better.
Are you a pro?
I wouldn't call myself a pro, but I think I've gotten better. So we just got ramen. Speaking place you recommended.
Yeah.
It's delicious. Great choice.
Yeah.
Do you remember the name?
It was Vegan Bistro Jangara, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you're here in Tokyo in the Shibuya area, definitely check that out. She's about to do a live stream, IRL. Be safe. Good luck with it. Have fun.
Thank you so much for having me today. It was so nice to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you too. All right. Now, time to go meet Hunter, who already found me somehow in this small, tiny part of just what is a huge vast of Tokyo.
That night, I properly reunited with my old friend Hunter.
Is that him? Ah, yep, that's him.
I don't know. So like, this is Hunter, and happens to be same place, same time, and it's.
Is it recording now?
Yeah, it's recording. It's biggest coincidence.
What was initially a meetup to grab an evening coffee turned into Hunter seeing a bar at the top of a skyscraper. Without even knowing exactly what this place was or how to get there, we opted not to do a regular cafe, but rather a skyrise bar.
Just considering how neat the trash is here too, like how organized your trash is, you'll never find this in New York City or Los Angeles from experience.
Now I'm just blindly following Hunter as he tries to figure out how to even get to the top. With enough confidence, our heads high, and simultaneously being, well, dressed down, we find a stunning view of the city, I can imagine, with iced lattes in hand. There's a reason Hunter and I have always gotten along. We live in the moment and take pleasure in spontaneous adventures. There was something comforting about being in a foreign place with a familiar face, or voice, because that's how I recognized him initially. But despite all the highs of today, as I got back to the hotel that night, I couldn't shake off this feeling of anxiousness.
Your boy showered and refreshed, and I hit a hot spring, artificial hot spring.
I tried a late night shower and even hit up the onsen at a late hour where I was left with my thoughts, but in the end, I couldn't sleep that night. I watched as the time changed to early morning, 5 a.m. Good morning. You look well rested. I wouldn't know. It's the last day of this week, and the truth is I'm not staying here until checkout. Now you may be wondering, am I leaving early, cutting this challenge short by a few hours before checkout because it wasn't a good experience? Because I've just gone mad being in a hotel? Is that why I got no sleep? Well, truthfully, the capsule hotel was fine. Both of them, really. It was a nice reminder to explore most of Japan, be out in the city, especially in a place that feels relatively safe, especially from where I'm from. It's a way to appreciate your quarters when you actually need to be there, shower up, have a meal, or get a nap in. And I definitely recommend to respectively try a capsule hotel at least once or twice. But the truth is, I'm leaving early this morning for an adventure that'll take me out of Tokyo. So while my luggage is watched over by the hotel staff for the day, I grab my essentials and I head out to take on a challenge I've dreamt of taking on since I was a kid. I'll hear you next time.